wasn't country still. That was a little later on. But yeah, it was big deal back in the day. 215-592-9494 if you want to get in. This segment is sponsored by Bet365. With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365, winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Pennsylvania. Twitter question of the day that we had today. At Tommy Kelly 44, where you can find it. Would you move Trey Turner out of the leadoff spot right now? Overwhelming 86.3% of the audience saying yes.
I told you that. They agree.
They would move Trey Turner.
It's just, what do you do?
I almost feel vindicated because I feel like I feel like living in bizarro world here for years with Trey Turner, where I've been the anti-Trey guy, and people are, why are you so hard on Trey? Why do you know that?
I know, for everyone last year, yes.
But even still, like, okay, he had a high batting average. He didn't hit a home run at home till what, September? Like, he's just not an impactful player the way you need a guy who you're paying $300 million to be. I don't know what to tell you. I've never liked, I mean, from the minute, I thought we were getting the best player in baseball in the World Baseball Class that year. He's incredible in the World Baseball Class.
That was his most exciting moment, that we have.
But ever since then, he's just, like, I think the perfect word to describe him, even when he's going good, is underwhelming. Underwhelming. I am always underwhelmed by Trey Turner, no matter what. And I think he is the biggest problem on the team right now. And sure, you can look at Nola. Nola's the issue. And I think the Nola thing, they need to get it figured out because you don't have many options. I mean, when you're paying a guy that kind of money, he's going to keep pitching. Like, I mean, people can beg and say, well, ask him to take, go down to the minors. Aaron Nola's not going down to the minors, okay? He's not going to do that. And guess what? If I was Aaron Nola, I wouldn't do it either. Like, I don't think this is a situation where Aaron Nola, needs to go to AAA. First off, I don't know what you're going to really do to fix things there that, you can't fix up here.
Brett Myers,
Right. But you would agree that Brett Myers and Aaron Nola are different in levels of stature? For sure.
It is different, but if there was any pitcher, I think that this probably would ever work with these days. Aaron Nola, after being here for 10 plus years now, and he's also going to be here for the next 6, I'm sure he wouldn't mind a 2-week. Hey, go fix yourself. You're not like you're losing your spot in the rotation.
I don't know. If I was Nola, I would do it. Yeah. I mean, we'll see.
I'd say give me a little bit. Yeah, give me until the middle of the season, All-Star break.
But even then, and this is why Nola's not as big of a factor. It's every 5th day. It's not great.
That's the point, yes.
But you've lived with Taijuan Walker the last few years, and you've found a way through it. That's the feeling you have when Nola goes out there right now, but it's every 5th day. With Trey Turner, it's every single day. And it's just he's just killing you right now.
Would you sign up for 2 more years of Taijuan Walker, or just continue with Aaron Nola on his current contract?
I mean, that's a real brutal question there. I guess, if you get out of the deal, maybe Walker, if you had him on on the 18 mil?
Yeah.
And you're absolved of the Nola deal? Then yeah, I think Walker. But, you have Nola, and you gotta hope he gets it figured out for sure. 215-592-9494 if you want to get in. In a minute, we'll get to something that we talked about a lot the last couple of weeks, but I think it's pretty clear that it's been a little overrated. We'll get to that in a few minutes. First, let's go back to the phones. Let's go to our buddy Cashmere. What's up, Cashmere?
What's going on there, TK? How you doing today?
All right, man. What's happening?
Good. The Phillies, listen, TK, I've maintained this, and I said it before, I'll say it again, I never really believed in this team this season, and that 16-4 manager bump was all that it was. It was just a blip on the radar. It was 16-4. It was a manager bump. That's all it was. It wasn't anything to actually take forward and take with you and say, oh, this team has turned a corner. No, that really wasn't that at all, because those are really bad teams you were facing. You should have beaten those teams. And then once you see that once they play some better teams, they got them better. Whether it be the Cincinnati Reds, I still don't think they're better than us, but they beat us 2 out of 3. And the Cleveland Guardians, let's be honest, they just outclassed us. You know, like, at least offensively, defensively, not really offensively, because we outpitched. I mean, but they still beat us. Here's the problem. Our offense cannot hit. Our right-handed, we're getting a whopping 208 batting average from our right-handed hitters. That's 30th in Major League Baseball. That's last in case anyone's asking.
Cashmere, it's kind of unbelievable when you say that. I mean, 208 from every right-hander in the lineup is just
208.
wow. It's astonishing.
That's the combined average from right-handed hitters. It's just not good, and I'm part of it. It's like for a team that has over a $230 million payroll, that's not good enough. It's just not. You know, Trey Turner. I don't give a crap about the batting title he won last year. That's the weakest, most seldom batting title I've ever seen. There's a lot of base hits, infield singles, a couple doubles. There really wasn't any home runs. There really wasn't many triples. There wasn't really a lot of hard contact. That wasn't really much, and he played better defense. Congratulations, you did what you should have did in 2023. And now you've reverted right back to where you were in 2023. You know, like, and then Alex Baldwin, let's be honest about who he really is. The guy's not a 280 hitter. Did he get hot for a couple weeks? Yes, he did. But now he came right back down to earth. And if Harper and Schwarber aren't carrying you, they go into a rut. This offense is screwed. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
The bullpen, let's be honest, the bullpen isn't as great as we thought it was, as great as had production as well.
The bullpen's been a disappointment too, Cashmere. I think when you look at the bullpen, I mean, Duran, and I know Duran gave up the homer the other night. Duran overall has been what you expected. I mean, he was out for that 2-week period. But, yeah, I think Keller has not been very good. Bolin, I just don't think Bolin is good at all, honestly.
I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good. I think
right, and I think with a guy like Banks, like, it was very predictable that Banks clearly pitched above his head last year. And I like he's a fine guy to have in your bullpen, but there was no way that Banks was going to pitch this year as well as he did last year. That last year was a complete aberration.
Yep, and Tim Mason has come back down to earth after having an early good first half of the season. Well, he's come back down to earth. So it's like besides Duran and maybe besides Keller, sometimes who you trust in that bullpen. I really don't trust anyone in that bullpen because they're all susceptible to give up home runs.
I'll say the one guy, probably Kerkering. I mean, Kerkering's pitched pretty well. I know there's been an outing here or there, but I mean, if you're asking me who do I trust most other than Duran, it's probably Kerkering right now.
Yeah, I still don't trust Kerkering. If you're throwing him in and worry about me, don't trust him.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. What do you got for our next question today, Cashmere?
You mean for the
yes, the side question. Yes,
Derek Jeter's quote. Because there might be people that have more talent than you, but there's no reason for them to work harder than you.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, Cashmere. Thanks for checking in. I don't know if I know that Jeter said that. I don't know if I associate that.
It just feels like Jeter, there's no way Jeter was the first person to ever say that. That term.
Yeah.
Like there's people more talented than you, but as long as you work hard,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Not sure, but I appreciate the effort from Cashmere. This is tripping people up. The next question is definitely tripping people up here in terms of the side
Just
question.
ask for the next question clue.
Next question. Okay, we'll do that. I'll make it a little more clear for people moving forward here. 215-592-9494 if you want to get in. But to get back to kind of off what Cashmere was saying there, because it is true. Like, with the things that you've seen from this team, this is kind of what they are this week. And I think when you look at the last few weeks, and to be honest, and I've said it repeatedly throughout the last few weeks here, even when they were winning, and people have told me, I'm just being an apologist for Pop or whatever. I think it's absurd how people have talked about this manager change. And, like, this idea that this was going to change things significantly for this team, or this was going to, completely alter the way the Phillies operate and the way the players play, I just think is crazy. And I'll say this off the top. Don Mattingly's obviously done a good job. I'm not saying Don Mattingly has not performed well in his role. You see the results. Obviously, he's done something. It would be crazy to say otherwise. And the team, hey, you want to say they needed a shake-up, fine. But I've heard like a large amount of people basically say or flat out insinuate or say basically Rob Thompson was like sabotaging this team, and Rob Thompson was such an awful manager, and that's why they're 9-19. And I just think that was always crazy. And it's very simple, like what happened. They played worse competition, the players started playing them. And you look at who deserves the majority of blame for early in the year, and who deserves the majority of credit for what happened since. It was the players then, the players now. It wasn't Rob Thompson deserved the blame, and Don Mattingly deserved the credit now. And I think, like, can we just admit that the managerial change did not really have that big of an impact? Like, it wasn't something that Rob Thompson was doing to, like, tank this team's performance, because it just drove me crazy. And yes, if you've listened to me, you know where I stand. I'm a Thompson guy. I think Rob Thompson generally did a good job managing this team, and I would have given him more time. I think it was a tough spot that he was in right after those 2 weeks against the Cubs and the Braves. But I just think in general, like this idea, oh, Don Mattingly, look at what he's doing with this team, and look at the plays holding guys accountable, and people really respect him. I'm not saying they don't. I think they probably do. But I don't think it's any different than Rob Thompson. Like, that's what it comes back to. I don't think Don Mattingly is really any different than Rob Thompson is. And you look at this past week, the Cincinnati series. The defense was bad. The fundamentals were bad. The Cleveland series. The offense was bad in the Cleveland series. And this is the thing. Like, the point is, this stuff has very little to do with the management. The stuff about Topper not holding guys accountable, to me, is not real. It's fun to say, and I think it's easy to point and say that guy was the problem, but it's not reality. And you know, when you look at what happened here, and you look at this managerial change, I think it's pretty clear it didn't have that big of an impact long term. And here was Don Mattingly talking. This was last week. And, you know, there was a situation with Bryce Harper where Schwarber was out, so moved in the 2 spot. Here was Don Mattingly talking about the lineup and Harper in the 2 spot last week.
He's been in and out. I thought the last homestand was really good. Struggled a little bit on the road. But today, just trying to give him a little boost, try to get Bryce out of the 2. I know he doesn't like it. We try to do it sparingly, but since it's got extended past, a day or 2, want to get him out of there and get him with a different feel.
And you know, I hear that. Now, I was working at Borgata on Friday with Joe and Elliot. It was a really fun show with those guys on Friday. But I completely disagreed with the way they heard that comment and the way I heard it. Because, Joe and Elliot kind of seemingly believed that this was Don Mattingly laying down the law and, sending a message to Bryce Harper. That's not what it was in my mind at all. Like, it's just Don Mattingly's very similar to Rob Thompson from that standpoint. He's not going to be a guy to rattle. He's not going to be a guy to create friction, and I think that's okay. But this is a player-driven team, and the idea that the managerial change was some big long-term solution to the problem, I just don't believe. I don't think it changed anything long term. And sure, can you say the team needed a shake up and something needed to happen for them to wake up in the short term? I guess. I don't know why that's the case. Like, I guess I don't get the psychology of a professional athlete. Obviously, I wasn't in that position. But I've been bothered the last few weeks by the amount of not credit giving to Mattingly, because I don't think that's you should give credit to the manager who's stepping in. But it's more like the blaming of Rob Thompson. And that Rob Thompson was like, this was the problem. And see, look at Rob Thompson gets fired, the team starts taking off. That proves that Rob Thompson was doing a bad job and he was mismanaging this team. I don't think that's the case. And I think this past week kind of demonstrates that, man. When the players play well, guess what? The manager's going to look really good. And when the players play poorly, the manager's going to look bad. And I just think in general, the managerial change has been significantly overrated. Now on knife. 5-5-9-2-9-4-9-4, that's how you get in. And Alex, I'll ask you, how do you feel about it? Because I just think, like, I'm honestly tired of, I guess, the just easy punching bag that Rob Thompson's become. And trust me, I don't agree with everything Topper did in the playoffs, certainly. 23, Arizona, that was a long time ago. But, yeah, I thought that was a poorly managed series, especially game 3 and 4 out there from him. But generally, I thought Rob Thompson was a damn good manager. I thought he did a damn good job here. And it just bothered me the last couple weeks, the way he's basically been used by, it feels like a lot of people are just blaming Rob Thompson for everything that's gone wrong. And I don't think Rob Thompson was much of the problem at all.
No, Rob Thompson's an easy guy to blame because he's always been trying to say the right things, always been sticking up for the guys, and he puts himself in that position as a player's coach to take most of the heat instead of the players, and that's why people like him. And why some didn't like him.
Oh, going back here?
Going back. It's fine. The dog's under control. What's up, Jack? How are you? High five? Let's go.